Tony Wuto has encouraged everything that GPH represents, both here in Maryland and Virginia. You call him, he's on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let me be a comedian right now. It is my proud privilege to introduce to you Professor Tony K. Wuto, the provost. Oh, I want Elijah a bigger applause. I want to go circle. Can we give a standing ovation to this man who made it all happen? The genesis of what we are experiencing tonight. Welcome, Professor Tony.
Good evening. My comments will be shorter than the introduction. Thank you for the introduction. Your Excellency, Mr. Oden, colleagues, thank you for being present this evening. This really is an auspicious occasion. I want to first acknowledge again Dr. Ofosu. I joined Howard University 21 years ago as an assistant professor, and Dr. Ofosu was there and served as a mentor, as a brother, as a friend. And for many of us, we would not be here but for his guidance, his leadership, and his expectation of excellence for Ghanaian pharmacists. So Dr. Ofosu, please stand up. I also want to make sure everyone heard and noted what he said. He has to be in the office in Connecticut tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So he'll be driving back this evening. This was an important enough occasion that he came on very short notice and that he will drive back. I'm not sure how many of us have come from that type of distance just to be present and to show their support, but we're very appreciative. I want to also acknowledge my sister, Lorene. Where's Lorene? The reason that I'm a pharmacist is because my sister was a pharmacist first, and as I was trying to think what I would do following my undergraduate studies, I followed her footsteps. So if you have anyone that you want to blame for where I am now, you can blame my lovely sister Lorene. But as I mentioned, I've been at Howard University for 21 years. I've been a practicing pharmacist for 27 years, but I've been a Ghanaian all my life. And so this is a particularly special occasion for me that we are inaugurating GPHA. On Saturday earlier this week, I woke up and I had a terrible sore throat, and it continued to progress and get worse. By Saturday evening, I asked my wife, who's an internist, to look at my throat, and she said, "Yes, your throat is sore, thank you." And so I decided to wait it out till Sunday morning, and then I started taking amoxicillin, 500 milligrams. I mean, the pain was so severe, I couldn't sleep well, I couldn't swallow, I had difficulty eating, but I started taking amoxicillin, 500 milligrams, 3 times a day. By Tuesday, the pain was still there. I said, man, they have to make better drugs. But I kept taking my amoxicillin, 500 milligrams. By yesterday, the pain was gone. And I had a few side effects. So I was taking my daughter to work, and I shared with her, well, this is a side effect from the medication, and this is the reason why. I kept taking the medication. Today, I'll be taking my last doses, but the pain is completely gone. And I mention that to say that as pharmacists, God has endowed us with the skills and the ability to help end human suffering. Someone, whether it's pain from a microbial infection, or it is diabetes, or it is hypertension, or it is some other chronic illness, we've actually been endowed with the ability to help reduce, if not completely ameliorate, human suffering. My prayer, my expectation for this organization is that we will use those talents that God has given us to help to prevent and human suffering at home. We have a responsibility not just to further our careers, whether we're here or in Ghana, we have a responsibility to help to improve the health of our brothers and sisters at home. So my expectation as an organization is that we will use those skills and talents, that we would use everything in our ability to improve the lives of our people, both at home and throughout the diaspora. So I want to thank each of you for your presence here. You wouldn't be here if this wasn't something that you felt was important, another step that we're taking forward. I want to thank His Excellency for granting us the opportunity to inaugurate this association on home soil. I want to again thank Dr. Ofosu. We've recognized Dean Toyin Tufade, who succeeded me as the Dean at Howard University, but I sincerely want us to take that message home with us, that it is up to us, if we're going to improve Ghana, that we have to take seriously the responsibility to improve the lives of our people. And I hope you will join with me, and I hope you will show the same commitment that Dr. Fosu has shown in driving down 6 hours, driving back up 6 more hours, that this is a small thing that we can do to show appreciation for all that Ghana has done for us and for all that our parents and those who have sacrificed to make sure that we can be at the point where we are now. So I thank you for inviting me to come, and I think that is still shorter than the introduction. But thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Provost. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the inspirational message. Another round of applause for the Provost. Thank you. So at this point, I would like to invite one of the visionaries that worked on getting us to this point. Met Jennifer probably over 10 years ago at church. And we were both pharmacists, so we formed a bond at that time. And over the course of the years, we ended up working at the same place. So we've gotten to know each other quite well. And she's someone who is very bright and also very straightforward in letting you know what's going on. At this time, I'd like to invite her to help with the next.
His Excellency, Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Mr. Balfour Ejie, Mr. Registrar, Dean of Howard, Dr. Toyin, my own Provost, Dr. Wuto. I'm very, very proud of you. And since I've gotten this opportunity, I want to use it to say a big thank you to you, because I am where I am today because of all the help that I got from you, the mentorship and your open door. At the time when I started Howard, you were a professor, but you were always available. I used to come to your office to tell you how much I didn't want to be a community pharmacist. And how you helped me get internships in industry, Pfizer and all, and that has really helped me to get to where I am today. And I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you. And also on behalf of all the Ghanaian students that are at Howard, we want to say thank you for honoring us, for doing such a great job, and for being at where you are now. Thank you. Dr. Ofosu, it is so good to see you. I tell people if Dr. Fosu wasn't at Howard, I probably would have gone back to my parents at Ghana. At the time when we were at Howard, he was the Dean of Pharmacy, and he was just a father, he was a mentor. But if you thought you were going to fail your exams because of that, oh, you will be in trouble. You will be in big trouble, especially because you're from Ghana. You better do well. And your inspiration kept us going, and you just being there actually really, really helped most of us, not only even the Ghanaians, but the Africans. So I want to use this opportunity also to say a very big thank you to you as well. My fellow pharmacists and colleagues, invited guests, good evening. I am here this evening to introduce to you the interim officers of GPHA going forward. But before I do that, I wanted to also introduce to you, there are always people working behind the scenes. And when something begins, you realize it takes more than you. It takes really loyal people, good people, to stand behind you to get this going. So interim officers have been appointed by an executive committee. I would like the members of the executive committee to stand at this time. Thank you, fellow pharmacists. But these are actually the people behind the scenes who day and night will be on conference calls, making sure that this program would be successful and how we're going to pull it off and all that. People were working behind the scenes, coming here, going there. I mean, Vera was, I don't know how she does it, but she is just almost everywhere at the same time, just trying to make sure that this program would be a success. So I would like to say a very, very big thank you to the executive committee. And the executive committee appointed our interim officers, which I'm going to introduce to you right now. Before I do that, I do want you to also know that Dr. Kojo Ewa is not just somebody I work with. He actually helped me to get my job. I mean, I have really benefited from GPHA. If I tell you all the people here who have really helped me, so I encourage especially the students to be a part of it and let's network, because I think probably my last 3 jobs have all been hookups from GPHA. So I want to also take this opportunity to say a very, very big thank you to Dr. Kojo Ewa. Because where I work is kind of tough. And when you get there and you're black, you're like a bright light, because it's not like that. But Kojo did whatever it took to make sure I got in, and I really appreciate that. Okay, so now to the business. I would like to introduce to you our interim presidents for GPHA, Dr. Kofi Oting Bewa. Doc, can you please come forward? Our vice president, Dr. Vera Asante. Our programs coordinator, Dr. Michael Nyamimbreku. Our secretary, Dr. Sam Anson. Our treasurer, Dr. Nana Kojo Jomfor. Fellow colleagues, invited guests, Your Excellency, Mr. Provost, Mr. Registrar, Dr. Ofosu, Dr. Tonyan, these are our officers for GPHA. At this time, I would like to invite lawyer Ofori Denchi to come over and give the oath.
Thank you very much. What I'd like to do is I'm going to read and then you repeat after me. When I get to the point where it says office of, please you mention the name of your office, even as you repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of, and then you mention the office, of the Ghanaian Pharmacists Association, and will do to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the goals of the Ghanaian Pharmacists Association. So help me God. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was dynamic. And if you want to know, Lawyer Denchi, Attorney Denchi, is also an elder of a church. So all that he said over here, he was praying as well. He prayed for them. This is not easy, and he's going to do it. It's my proud privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you Dr. Kofi Otenbewa for his office of acceptance speech. Can we put our hands together for him?
His Excellency, Ghana's Ambassador to the United States, Dr. Balfour J. Bagel, the Registrar General, Ghana Pharmacy Council, Mr. Raul Awudu, Dr. Wuto, Dr. Dufade, Dr. Ofosu, physicians, healthcare professionals, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow pharmacists. Tonight is indeed a special night. For the very first time, Ghanaian pharmacists in the United States shall united as one powerful entity and are being recognized by the Ghanaian government. This is indeed a very significant moment. Many thanks to the GPHA leadership group who worked very hard day and night to make this possible. Please, I'm going to call you and I want you to join me. Jennifer. Darren. Lorraine. Chioko. Ellen. You know, you can't go wrong surrounded by these beautiful, intelligent women. All right, so the gentleman that helped this dream come to reality, Kobe. Kofi Amen. Mike. This guy pushed us. He pushed us really good. And thank you for doing that, Mike. I could see Nana Kogo and Samson, come over. This is the future generation for the GPHA. I thank you all for making this possible. We did this as a team, and we really appreciate it. So we're going to do this together. I am humbled and honored to be nominated by you to serve as your interim president of our dear association, a position that you have entrusted me with, which I plan to do my very best to take this vision of us to where we need to be. Our main priorities, my dear GPHA members, are to ensure that we are successful in one, recruiting and mobilizing pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, students across the nation to form one strong GPHA with chapters all over the place. Number two, we're partnering with our Ghanaian colleagues to chart a way towards better health for the Ghanaian citizen. Hence our motto, partners for better health. You know, Howard University celebrated its 150th anniversary this year. And the theme was and still is, the time is always now. The time is always now. Now, this phrase kept resounding and reverberating in my mind since the beginning of the year. In 2005, one the vision of a unified national network of Ghanaian pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, and students to positively impact our communities was first conceived. The time was now back then. The time was now back then to begin the process. And we must agree that it's been a very long process. Even though it seemed like a laudable idea and that everyone will be on board to make this association very strong from the get-go, it did not happen quite easily. There were many challenges along the way. I remember one time we called for a meeting at Howard University, and Professor Wuto gave us this place to use as a meeting in the beginning years. So we called for a meeting, and Professor Wuto and I waited for folks to show up. We kept waiting. We ended up waiting in vain. Getting all potential members to commit time for meetings and money for dues was quite tough. Even though the lack of enthusiasm shown by some was very discouraging, at times giving up was not an option. For us, Thomas Edison said, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. So Jennifer and I kept trying with a few seed dinners here and there, together with annual family picnics and health fair events. I must definitely add that the support and commitment of these core initial members really was second to none. Sometimes when I was down and frustrated because of the whole process involved and getting folks to commit, it just took a phone call from one of these members that was full of encouragement, and it kept us going. The formation of the Virginia chapter a few years later was very encouraging, because what that did, Colby and Vera and all the initial founding members They brought some kind of energy, that we all needed to keep going. There was also this positive competition amongst us that kept us all on the competitive edge. But needless to say, they also faced similar challenges and issues along the way and had to go dormant for a while. The challenges may not be similar, but they feel, they also had challenges along the way. But at the end of the day, both chapters have learned from our various experiences, and that has made us ready for this moment. The moment for united GPHA, which is aspiring to be as powerful as APHA. I'm going to repeat it. We are aspiring to be as powerful as APHA. My dear distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow colleagues, this year, 2017, the time is now. The time is not only now, but is also right for the dormant GPHA era to be over and done with for good. Folks, it is time for action and a time to move forward. The new One United GPHA starts tonight with Maryland and Virginia chapters as experienced, seasoned leaders leading us to the next level. We will lead GPHA to higher heights, make it stronger than ever before. Together, we will make it powerful and very influential for years to come. We can, we should, and we will. However, to bring this ultimate goal to fruition, we will need the support and the help of every one of you to make this great vision a reality. You know what? Don't ever underestimate the power you all have. You know that 40 of us with an average annual salary of $125,000 is $5 million. That's $5 million annual gross income. That's huge economic power right there. In fact, let me tell you, there will be a national health crisis if all Ghanaian and Nigerian healthcare workers in Washington Metro decided one day to leave and go back home. So folks, we all hold a very strong influence and power over what we do. And if you didn't know it, please realize it, we do. And we can only have more influence and be more powerful if we come together. That's the only way. We can't do it individually, we have to do it together. So I understand, folks, that yet another arduous process is about to begin, but we're not afraid. We are ready, we are seasoned, we are experienced, and by His grace, we're going to deliver. We will deliver in one, uniting all Ghanaian pharmacists as one GPHA with many chapters across the country. 2, advocating for Ghanaian pharmacists and pharmacy technicians in the United States. 3, creating opportunities for business and professional growth amongst us here in the United States. 4, collaborating with the Ghanaian healthcare professionals in the United States with the main aim of chartering a way to achieve a better healthcare system in Ghana. I know we can do it.
Yes, we can.
So we should all come together and make that a reality. 5, we will be conducting training workshops and educational meetings with our colleagues in Ghana to help standardize pharmaceutical care with medication and patient safety as the main priorities. 6, we want to align GPHA with His Excellency, President Nana Akufo-Addo's vision of a Ghana beyond aid, making Ghana self-reliant in healthcare a reality. My dear colleagues, we can do this, so let's just do it. The current business climate in Ghana is encouraging. The atmosphere is reinvigorating, and diasporas are welcome with open arms. So, in January 2018, GPHA National Executive will put together an action plan to pursue these goals. I would like to encourage pharmacists from various practice settings like academia, healthcare institutions, home infusion, community practice, to join us, for together we are stronger and our impact will be greater. Now, for those of us interested in setting up shop in Ghana, I'd like to mention that as the pharmacist licensing process is streamlined by Ghana Council for us, I urge all pharmacists who intend to go back home to do so with an innovative and long-term mindset rather than a short-term profit-making mindset or mentality. For example, it will ultimately serve us, our people, you, the business person or pharmacist, better to have a state-of-the-art pharmacy with various value-added services like diabetes management in Kowu East District, close to a newly built factory, rather than opening yet another pharmacy shop close to Kuala Supermarket or next to the landmark Kumasi Mall. Folks, the opportunities for innovative pharmaceutical services in Ghana are numerous. Anticoagulation clinics, home infusion services, geriatric pharmaceutical care, total parenteral nutrition services for hospitals, medication management services for private clinics, and I can go on and on and on, but these are some of the few things that we can get ourselves in. We've been exposed to various pharmacy practice, pharmaceutical care concepts here, and I think it's up to us to go back home to provide those services for the Ghanaian citizen. I will appeal to pharmacists not to sit on the fence anymore, but to actively join us. We also need the younger ones to bring their energy and passion and run for various offices. This group here, our main aim is to build a strong foundation so that you can take over. Again, I am honored and that my colleagues have nominated me to lead this association during this crucial growing stages. I'll look forward to working with all of you in 2018 And it is my passionate promise to do my very best to ensure that we are successful in our objectives. As a successful American businessman Arnold H. Glasso said, success is simple. Do what's right, the right way, and at the right time. My dear colleagues, this is the right time. Thank you very much.
Wow. I am impressed. And I just want to speed up my retirement and go home. This is really going to work. It will work. May the good Lord bless all of you. And the president has a way of addressing the next generation. He says, and you are going to continue from there. And I you are in trouble. This is going to work. Can you envisage or imagine the group in New York, the group in Boston, the group in South Virginia Beach, Virginia, North Carolina? They're there. Your people are there. This is great. It is great. It is simply great. May the good Lord bless you. I am going to call on Lauren, another woman of God, and a pharmacist, a mother, my superwoman.
Good evening. Let's have another round of applause for our interim president. We are at the end of our program, and as much as I think everybody enjoyed being here today, it is not Friday, so we have to prepare ourselves for tomorrow and back to work. We would like to release Dr. Oposu to continue his journey to Connecticut. So I just want to say a few words of thanks and also to say a prayer, and then we can move on into the next phase. I want to acknowledge and to also thank several people here. First of all, the staff of the embassy. This is our home from home. This is our home while we're in America, and they did a wonderful job in accommodating us. So we really appreciate them offering up their home for us to use. We want to thank His Excellency Dr. Bafo Ajay Bawa. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We want to thank Mr. Ralph Audu, Dr. Oposu. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out here. We appreciate you. Tony, you and I